Hey, so do you feel constantly on edge around people? And no matter what you try, you just can't get out of your head and feel at ease. You can't put your finger on what that feeling is. So if that's you, stick around because in this video, I'm gonna help you understand where that feeling is coming from and how to feel more ease and more connected around people, all right? So let's go. So constantly feeling on edge takes so much life away from you, right? Like, how are you supposed to get to know somebody if you're constantly feeling on edge? How are you supposed to connect with people when you can't even settle into the moment? You're just constantly feeling uneasy. And that's the most important thing we have in life, right? Is connection with other people. Without people, we lose ourselves. We lose our soul. We're social creatures at heart. Without connection, we die inside. That's just how we're built. And so how do you stop your mind and your body from constantly getting hijacked? And how do you stop feeling so alone as a result of that because you can't feel at ease? And the key to understand here, the key mindset that you have to solve this issue is you'll never figure this out intellectually. You cannot think your way out of this problem. And I want to give you an example of why this is the case, why you can't quite put your finger on where that unease or where that feeling is coming from. So let's say you have a friend, you have a falling out, you feel betrayed, you are absolutely angry, resentful at this friend. And so let's say some time has gone by, months, maybe a year, years, sometimes it could be years, right? You see somebody who reminds you of that friend, and then all of a sudden you get that anger, you get that resentment, you start remembering what he did, right? Your body starts to feel those feelings and you go into that reaction. But again, it's not your friend, it's somebody who reminded you of your friend that triggered you. So I say this to make this point here. There's always two components to a memory. You remember your friend, you remember what happened, okay? But in the moment when you got triggered, you remember what happened, but also there's a component of the feelings around it, the anger, the resentment, the feeling of being betrayed. Those feelings are also associated with that old memory. And another example is, let's say you're just driving through an old neighborhood and you start getting all of these memories. Before you're even using your eyes to look around and think about what happened, these memories just start flooding in because you're in this nostalgic kind of area that was a big part of your life. The reason is because your body's already picking up on the environment before your mind does. Your body has an intelligence that is far greater than your mind up here. Your body's picking up, it's sensing into the environment, and it has its own memory stored within the body. Now, I'm a big believer in the truth and getting as close to the truth as possible. And your body and your feelings are your way to navigate to the truth. And your mind will always take you in the opposite direction of it. Let me give you an example. Let me break this down for you. I used to be extremely disconnected in groups, unable to be present, couldn't connect with anybody, felt like I had to run, escape, like I didn't belong. That was my experience in groups, okay? Now, I remember at one point, I recognized that it wasn't every single group, okay? So I could thrive, I could connect, you know, I could feel at ease in some groups. Some I was very on edge. So this is what I knew in my mind at the time. But what I learned was that my body was picking up on aggressive, say for example, if a group had an aggressive male in it, my body was already picking that up. I didn't even have to be looking at the person. My body was sensing the voice, the aggressive energy. It was picking that up before my mind did. I didn't come to this realization for a long time. My body knew the whole time that that was what it was reacting to. My body knew the entire time, historically for me, that is not good energy to be around. It's hostile energy. It could result, right, from my upbringing, people I used to hang out with, It could result in physical violence. It could result in humiliation. It could result in a screaming match. My body picked up on that. So what does that tell you? Those feelings were within me and they were unresolved, just like the example I gave you with the friend. You have the memory of what happened, but the feelings are there, they're unresolved. Same with my situation. There were feelings associated with aggressive male energy that were within me, that were unresolved. My body was pointing me in the right direction, to the truth, to something I needed to acknowledge within myself, to cut through the denial of my mind and show me what I needed to heal to overcome that disconnection in groups. And really, the worst thing that you can do here is just believe your mind and try to figure it out intellectually. I'll give you an example. Like, the mistakes I made was, hey, I'm disconnected in a group. I need to learn social skills. I need to learn to be more charismatic. I need to learn CBT and challenge my thoughts because my thoughts aren't real. Okay, so you do not want to go down that rabbit hole. It's just going to end up in you losing a little bit more hope, you feeling a bit more disappointed each and every time because you can't figure it out up here. So at the end of the day, if you're around people, it could be, you know, even close family and friends, strangers, whoever, if you have a feeling of being on edge, that person, that situation, you either have unresolved feelings with that person, or they're reminding you of people or a person who you have unresolved feelings with. Some sort of past trauma, some sort of past emotional pain that person or that person who's reminding you of that person has caused for you. And so the quickest way to shift into more positive feelings, right? From being on edge and uneasy, shift into being connected, feeling loving and connected with other people, is to tell the truth. First to yourself, and then obviously to the other people that you're interacting with. But first you have to acknowledge it within yourself. Okay, so I'm gonna give you an example here. If you're sitting there saying, I don't know why I'm feeling on edge, I don't know what's wrong with me, I gotta just get out of my head, I gotta be more confident. That's not acknowledging yourself. That's not acknowledging what's truly going on inside. Whereas if you start to get to the roots of why you're on edge, if you're feeling humiliation and you realize, hey, I was humiliated in the past, your self-talk's gonna be different. It's gonna be like, hey, it's okay, you were humiliated in the past, and it's okay, right? Then once you acknowledge that within yourself, you'll eventually be able to transition into speaking that outward comfortably. So for example, if you're in a group, you're feeling uncomfortable, you could even say it because you're comfortable with it within yourself. You're comfortable with yourself, right? You can say like, hey, you know, I get a bit disconnected in groups, I'm uncomfortable, I've had some bad experiences, right? Nobody's gonna judge you for your experience. People are gonna say, oh wow, you know, I've had that experience as well, or hey, thanks for sharing that with us, take your time, whatever you need. People are gonna be much more accommodating. But it all starts with acknowledging it within yourself. The road to acknowledging it within yourself is those feelings. You have to discover what's underneath. What are they about? Is it about rejection, humiliation, right? Being in trouble all the time? What are those old feelings trying to tell you? Okay, so if you want to learn more, I would love to connect with you. What you can do is join our Facebook group. I'm gonna link it below the video. You can come in there, connect with people. I'm in there as well. You can ask me questions and I can guide you closer along the way. And you can also follow me on Instagram. I'll post that below the video as well. I post daily tips, content, inspiration to just support you and inspire you towards being anxiety-free. So please use those free resources. Don't struggle alone. And if you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. All right.